necessarily gutted it. I do feel like Twitter had a bunch of like bloated.
That's what everyone does.
Dude, every single company has like a bloated mid-level management sector. It's a nature of it. And without fresh eyes, I don't think they're going to be gutting anything. I think they are going to be finding redundancies and cutting costs.
Yeah,
and like if you say
in the water.
I mean, first off, I don't think so, because like at the end of the day, if you look at most federal programs, the post office is the only one that actually makes money.
They don't make money. Like you're talking about.
And first off, they are a net positive program. Like they
overall, but they don't make money now.
But compared to every other government agency, which is just an expenditure, it's like the only government agency that like why would they cut it?
True. I can tell you they don't.
What agency are you guys talking about?
I'm saying what government agency makes more money than it spends? Like there's two. Like there's basically the IRS and the Post Office. The only two.
The Post Office does not make money.
Yeah, the Post Office loses money every year. Also, Amtrak loses money every year. The IRS is the only one that's that positive.
Amtrak is a government agency?
Yes.
It's quasi-governmental.
But can I ask you a different
question? It's like the Post Office. The Post Office is the same thing.
Does the IRS really make money, or they just find the money that you owe the government?
They collect more money than it costs to run the
operation. The outfit.
Yeah, they're the only cash positive agency.
They're the agency that takes money from everyone, like en masse. Every other agency uses money. They are the ones that collect money.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible the Post Office may have had a small profit, maybe 1 or 2 years out of 10.
Yeah.
But generally, they're always in a loss.
They're in a loss. The $6.5 billion last year, but compared to like what their budget is, it's like in terms of most government agencies, it's a budget and they spend it. So it's that much expenditure. Almost none of them like gain money.
Well, but there's a reason for that, Pat.
Yeah.
Like they literally cut the strings and said you have to cover your costs, and they still don't. But like that's why every other government agency works differently.
But the post office isn't like Amtrak, which is not 100% loss, right? They do recuperate some sort of money.
No. Yeah, exactly. Like it's like that's what I'm saying, Cackles. I'm saying it's more like I don't think the post office is the biggest thing. And even if we did get rid of the United States Post Office, we do have enough companies to cover.
Right, we have enough privatized things but like, I mean, Amtrak, you need to be able to like travel, but like mail, there's so many other alternatives to that nowadays that, you know, they keep raising postage. Postage is now another 5 cents, and I think it's going up another 5 cents in a couple months. Like, they're running out of ideas. They're just trying to raise postage rates. They don't need that.
Yeah, but look, although it is becoming online and everything, they're trying to get you off the fucking postal services.
We
have arrived at the point, and I'm surprised actually Trump never mentioned it, but we have arrived at the point where it would make a lot more sense to spend $6 billion to support Amtrak than it makes sense to support the post office.
Or have high-speed rails throughout the United States, like Japan does, even though they're a much smaller country. I think we can improve transportation here. Let's get a good sector.
Well, there's a reason. I mean, besides just that we haven't prioritized it, there are also big differences between America and Japan, or America and Europe, or in how the country's laid out.
Or better yet, let's make Elon Musk Secretary of Transportation, and he can figure out ways to make transportation better in this country.
Yeah, well then there's going to be giant conflict of interest.
There already is.
That's true.
The whole X thing is, crazy.
Yeah, but
Amazon paid the post office more money for delivering all their packages, though, because in the hurricane, Amazon dumped all their shit on our post office.
That's the point, Matt, is that Elon Musk probably wouldn't get approved by the feeling. That's why he's being put into a non-votable position.
I think this can be cabinet level. He's trying to make this cabinet level, which means it would require some sort of confirmation.
Yeah, but right now, that's what I'm saying. He's a Doge commission. He's on a commission. It's not a real position. It's not technically a position. It's a real position, but it doesn't have to get passed.
I mean, they're also talking about recess appointments for cabinet level positions, so I just think you can't do that. I feel like
they
that.
should, as long as they don't have power to actually, make policy, they should not need confirmation.
Well, cabinet doesn't have position, like power to make policy.
They're in the line of succession,
Correct.
which is, I mean, besides President Pro Tem.
That's why. I think that's the logic behind it. Making sure that anyone who's in the line of succession needs to be passed, not.
Well, they're not, until they do get confirmed, anyone that's acting is not in the line of succession. So they need to be confirmed, before that, they would be acting.
Good point. Remember the TV show about like where like the whole cabin is killed except for one guy? Exactly.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, I do remember that show. That was good for a season or two.
He was about to be, or he had been fired or something like that, but because of everybody dying, he was the designated survivor.
What was he the secretary of?
It was agriculture.
Agriculture, right?
Something like that. The people rebelling against the Secretary of Education in Battlestar Galactica.
I never watched that.
Such a good show.
Yeah, and then it was rebooted, right?
I'm talking about the reboot, but yeah.
Okay.
I could only watch one episode of the original. It was terrible.
Hey, Rabbi Matt.
Damn, I think they blocked me from this one room. Unless they closed the room down, but.
Kind of stuff, or the bureaucracy of a sprawling government. And isn't that the same thing in Europe? I mean, aren't people in Europe do go through the same process? Aren't things regulated the same way?
Yeah, in a sense. Europe is very similar.
I don't know. You guys
Depends on where in Europe, of course, but yeah, I pretty much live in a sort of like Sodom and Gomorrah country. Like we glorify LGBTQ, drag queen story hour, chop your dick off, become the other gender, and glorify drugs, alcohol, prostitution, all legal, by the way.
I don't know where does that come from? Does that come because
Say
our civilization, the civilization is being refined to a degree where, changing gender or
you see this in the Middle East?
course not.
You see this in Africa? Which
No,
Africa?
you're not gonna see. But are there transgender people in Africa or in the Middle East?
No,
There
but
must
I
be.
mean, sure,
It
but
must-
is it being glorified? Is it like being promoted like this great thing, like chop your dick off and become this Hollywood whatever? You only see this in Europe and in the United States, Canada, like nowhere else in the world.
But who?
No, but that's Democrats, by the way, Mike, that's Democrats you're talking about.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm just referring to the parts of the world where this is all being considered a great thing to do or a great thing to be.
But isn't that part of advocating for a higher standard of human rights stuff? You know, where everybody counts. So it's a higher standard of human right kind of thing where they say, okay, somebody wants to become a woman, you should respect his wishes to chop off his penis and that kind of stuff. But do you think there's a certain group with a certain agenda that put
Policy in there, it's called post abandonment. Like, you can't abandon your post. Like, you have to be fucking, really, it's very paramilitary. It's very fucking, that kind of vibe. Which is cool, I get it, obviously. I've worked at places where, you can't fucking abandon your post. That's not in this one. There's nothing in there.
I've been had automatic weapons. So when y'all say that gangster, like drill rap was the worst, I disagree, bro, because gangster, bro, what? New York and LA alone when they were making music, especially when crack was active, they were killing way more back then than they are now. Today's generation don't drop even half the bodies that y'all were doing back in the 90s. So I disagree, because gangster rap was really on steroids. I get drill rap being more available because, like, the internet and shit. But, like, as far as, like, influence, like, pure influence and, like, crime race the show, gangster rap was by far the fucking worst, bro. Them niggas was doing all type of shit. Like, y'all were worse, bro. I'm not trying to. You can't blame drill rap. If you want to be honest, Kendo, drill rap is gangster rap's son. His son, his little teenage son. That's drill rap.
Of course, but it's the worst. You have to consider that. I think you overlapping some things. This is what you're doing. You're overlapping gang culture with gangster rap, and that's where you kind of like getting it messed up, because you can use it to attribute like it being the fuel that might have been behind inspiring other people outside of that culture. Okay, cool. But a lot of that stuff was happening that you cannot just directly attribute to music versus the way that drill is. Like, drill was actually niggas naming streets and stuff like that, and ops that they smoke. We just seen that Fulio shit.
And so we also dropping music videos like those getting millions of views, pissing off the other
people grave sites and all of this stuff. Like, bro, it's completely different. And I understand, bro, you probably heard like the music from like your Uncle Cabinet and shit like that, and think that you like fully and come. I got you. I'm on that. You probably done, listen to some Scarface and all that shit. All these niggas is bad. But, like, in fact, bro, it was not as much, especially directly coming from the artist, right? Like, this is where I'm tying it in. I'm not tying it into the fuel that inspires a certain culture to go out and commit some shit. Because then we can just talk about GTA and get this shit over with, right? So that'd be stupid, right? We're talking about direct. This is this nigga that done shot somebody that's rapping on the track about him shooting somebody. Like, that's not like, bro. Gangster rap in its whole, it was only probably about like one or two artists from each coast back in the fucking early mid 90s and shit like that you could really be like, all right, bro, really on that. You know what I'm saying? It's way
damn shit on that scheme, robbing, all kinds of drug rings and everything, bro. Like some cats in Connecticut, right? They was on a whole murder spree up and down the DMV. Like, literally making songs and tracks. Like, after they killed somebody, and these niggas got over 12 tracks. Each track a body.
and these track 1 million views on YouTube.
Like, bro,
they're making bangers.
Gangster rap never did that. Yeah, maybe it was
taking it to a crazy, like demonic level, bro. Like, to where, bro, yo,
it was already
North, bro.
Louis,
it
was already demonic, though.
Scene in North Philly, bro, and the songs these niggas are doing after they'll just pop a nigga day McDonald's and make a record about the next.
Look, Louis, but you know
these niggas are, I'm just saying, it's different, bro. These guys are inspired by murder. They're inspired by seeing people making records. And being about killing people.
But what about LA gangster rap then? Because LA gangster rap.
Yeah, what's old dude's name? Who's the dude from the Bay Area? That dude made a song. Forget his name, man, but he made a song. The Murder Show, and they do the repetitive die nigga die. What's his name? Spice One. Spice One. A lot of that shit, man. Right, yeah. Or of course you have banging on wax with the actual Crip and Blood members, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Rapping about like Slob 187 or fucking Crip side is the east side or something like that. Like, Pyru Love. And by the way, Pyru is the name of a demon, even though that is the street corner that they were on. A lot of this shit was set up for a lot of the Jewish executives, they took rap, or hip hop, and they morphed it into something entirely different, and it was demonic. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the young the young youth at the time got manipulated by that, and yeah, there were a lot of killings, man. Like there was so many cases of guys saying that they were listening to, these different songs. Particular Tupac's lyrics and going around doing drive-bys on their enemies and shit. So Ray, answer me this. Answer me this. I just want to get his opinion, just right quick before he run away, right? All right. So if let's just use Tupac, right? Is Tupac's song inspiring somebody doing a drive-by actually Tupac doing a drive-by? Yes or no? Well, when you listen to some of the things that he said, it's a yes or no, bro. Yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah, you know why? Because why would you put you're an influential person? Why are you putting that type of energy out there?
That's different than Tupac having that scene in the video. It's different than me actually with my man killing somebody. Like shooting somebody and that in the video as well. It's not just like the video.
Pop a motherfucker. I ain't gonna hold for that business as a rider. Or can't see me on. I'm ready to slide.
What's that song? If I did die young, who cares? All I ever got was mean mugs and coats. Which song was that? Guys will bump that shit, man. Driving around.
That's not gangster music, though.
Oh, I see that. You talking about Ray? You talking about
in the struggle?
Ray, hold on.
There's a struggle aspect.
Hold on, I see Death Around the Corner trying to say how will I survive in a city where the skinny niggas die if they bury me as a G nigga. Yup, that's the song. I see Death Around the Corner.
Yeah, but there's, you can make a case, that's talking about the struggle. There's one thing about talking about the struggle versus talking about riding on your enemies and shit, man. And once again, a lot of niggas were, it wasn't just his music. It wasn't just his music, of course, but his music was one of the main ones motherfuckers was driving to, especially on the West Coast.
He didn't turn into that until he came to the West Coast type shit, right? Before that, he was all about unity and Brenda Gatti and
if you go back to Tupacalypse, he was still talking about popping motherfuckers and talking about popping the police and breaking into prisons to break his brother. He was talking some crazy shit. I ain't gonna lie. People don't listen to the old Tupac. He was revolutionary, but the nigga was crazy as shit. He was crazy, bro. He was talking some crazy shit.
He was, and here's the thing about that. But he was.
Well, no, yeah, actually, yeah, he did, cause he shot those undercover cops for fucking with that black dude. He did do what he said. You can't get mad at that nigga. He lived what he said he was gonna do. I can't lie.
Oh, why did he killed the nigga at McDonald's and rapped about it? He actually did that.
Yeah, but you know what? But when you influence, but here's the thing though, right? Especially when, you have niggas that are actually doing that shit for real, and getting locked up for it. I mean, when it's like this, when your music is that influential, and mind you, this dude would contradict himself throughout a lot of his albums. He'll talk about Brenda's got a baby, or he'll talk about, he'll have one,
He can't have multiple. Wait, so you're telling me just because he raps one thing, he can't have multiple subject topics? I feel
he can have multiple subject topics. I'm just saying, the ones where it's talking about killing the nigga, man. Like, come on, man.
He ain't had talking about killing niggas and shit like that.
Who?
He didn't have a lot of niggas. He ain't had no songs talking about killing niggas and doing drive-bys and shit.
Well, nah, if you listen to the 7 Day Theory and you listen to All Eyes on Me, he was talking about riding on niggas. He definitely was.
He's talking about riding on his enemies. He ain't talking about just doing random drive-bys and sticking up niggas and shit like that. He talking about people that shot him or actually had actual beef with.
Yeah, Tupac was definitely unique. But like I said, man, it's just
Tupac would run away from these little niggas out doing they shit, drill rap.
Y'all talking about Tupac?
Nah, Tupac would have, bro. If Tupac came back to live right now,
he would run away from these little niggas, bro. I'm trying to tell you,
nigga, no.
If Tupac would have came out in 2024, it would be irrelevant. Sorry.
Listen,
Tupac
back then was similar to Tekashi 6ix9ine. A dude on the platform.
That's a fact, bro. This nigga was a Juilliard. Didn't he go to Juilliard or something?
Exactly. He was wearing pom-pom shorts, all that shit, bro.
Bro, he would run away from these little niggas, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
Built up the community and the same thing Tekashi 6ix9ine did, bro.
And Tekashi, bro.
Why do you think he would run away?
You know what? You're right. He probably wouldn't run away.
No,
he wouldn't run away.
Start rapping about bodies they actually got. There's real indictments about.
Nah, he wouldn't run away, bro. Tupac was about that life, but he still was a schoolboy.
4 people are accounted for.
I have a link to the Google spreadsheet of all the people still missing that's updated by the Citizens Daily. Hilarious. There's still over 600. Sorry. It's so irritating. But this is it's good. They're giving credit to a lot of these volunteer groups. And Red Cross is out of the area now. So all those donations anybody gave,
It's going to Palestine. Red Cross is there.
It's like money laundering everywhere. It's like, how can people not see this money laundering on a global scale? It's what? So yeah, it's pretty fascinating. That's why I'm quiet, Rafi, and I'm cleaning the kitchen, and I'm almost done this casserole. It's cooling, so then I'm gonna cut it and package it. And
next time I'm about to cash out and they ask me if I want to donate $1 to Red Cross, what do I tell them?
Fuck you, no, and then give me a name, and give me your dollar. I'll find a thing. They're gonna have to rebuild, like paycheck by paycheck rebuilds. Because all the insurance is dropping them, because no one has covered for all this insurance in the mountains for hurricanes. So nothing is here. And the Small Business Association is bankrupt. There's no money to give to them to rebuild. It's still sitting in squalor. The River Arts District, Biltmore Village, it's wild.
I was just talking to someone recently about how, I love Nashville. I went to school in North Carolina. I used to go to Asheville.
Where'd you go? I went to the Asheville school. Where did you go?
I know. I went to school in the center with Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
But I used to go out to Asheville. One of my friends' older brothers was a manager of the Orange Peel. People didn't know. A lot of people might not know this about Asheville, but it's the small music capital of America in terms of they have 7 venues of less than 2,000 people, where huge acts would come and perform because it was their stopping off point when on their way to fame and everything. It's just a different environment. It's such a cool city. and I'm thinking about plopping a little bit of money there because right now the price.
Yeah, I can't join the critical thinking forum. I wonder how they know.
You know, Steve Martin owns a house in Brevard, like 5 minutes up.
Steve Martin.
I would assume a lot of like you probably don't even know because
Martin.
it's probably like in S-corps and everything like
There's
that.
a lot of them. But also we went to, so the Salvage Station is a music venue that was already going to be gone because of eminent domain. So this last quarter they were going to sing, like, you know, they're going to make their big money, but then the hurricane came. But on Sunday night they had a fundraising concert and they auctioned off things that they salvaged, like the artwork from the Salvage Station. They were like auctioning it off.
Sick.
Isn't that brilliant? So then they had a big mashup of all those musicians that you're talking about. They had like brass players, the guitar. You know, they are just like we're just trying so hard to keep going with it. You know, so.
No, I saw like huge acts. I saw Dean in college. My friend's brother was like the manager, so like what he'd give us like tickets to sell on the street. So we'd basically be buskers and we try to sell tickets for the venue. But then we get free entrance, free drinks, free food. Like it was like everything was hooked up, and we just crashed at his apartment in downtown Asheville. And it was like we'd walk away from the weekend with $400 and saw 2 awesome concerts, all our food, like everything. It was just a.
But they also developed a blue color they took from the conch fish, and if they take the juice out of it, it had like a purple kind of color dye, and they said this reminded them of the phoenix, so they called it Phoenicians after the color of the phoenix bird.
Ah, okay.
But it's interesting because then you see what contributions these other people's made to the world, you know.
Question. Then what is the meaning of Israel?
Oh, that's a very famous one. Israel means to, 1 second. Okay, so what is...
Because I know it's the name of someone, but I don't know the meaning of the name.
Well, if we go with the Jewish history...
Name of Jacob.
Jacob, right. Now, these names are interesting in the Bible because, okay, well, we first had the Semites, right? And they were the children of Noah, right? You had the Sem.
What you doing? See, I ain't going back to it. Last time everybody drew up, you rejected it. So, no. What you said, baby Steve? I'm sorry.
I'm playing 2K.
Not you, a country westerner today.
Damascus, Virginia.
I love that part of the country. I dated someone from when I was 19 to 28, and she grew up in Bryson City, like right
Tennessee.
like
Yeah.
Well, it's technically North Carolina, but it's like on the other side of the Great Smoky, like the Smoky
Yeah, the
Mountains.
Smoky Mountains. They're washed. It's been great. They opened up like half a mile down by us, though, on the Blue Ridge Parkway, which is so amazing. But the amount of trees that are down, Pat, it's crazy. It's like matchsticks.
Well, it's a cool area of the country. I'm hoping like the attention will like.
Have you heard of Billy Strings? Speaking of good musicians, Billy Strings. Have you heard of this guy?
No.
Okay, he's like a new up-and-coming phenomenon, but he's gonna play like 6 nights. It's not like we could get a ticket, though. We're not popular.
My nose is clearing from my soup.
had like the Greek lemon chicken soup. It's usually done with like wild rice or orzo or something.
Not exactly, but
That is what I would.
Yes, I have had that. It's really good.
I dated a Greek girl one time, and I was like, this is better than chicken noodle, especially when you're saying like it opens up your sinuses more the zest or the lemon. I'm not sure what it is, but it's one of those like, where has this been all my life moments.
so the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald is got tapped for Congress. That's not a bad choice.
Like the current one?
Yeah.
Was he the guy who let them have a 9/11?
Yeah.
Oh shit, then like, mad respect to that guy. They lost like half their employees.
Yeah, a lot. 658 employees.
Damn. Yeah, that's mad respect to that guy. I don't know what his beliefs are or anything like that, but to get the company through that's wild. Good old Irish company.
Yeah, it's sort of Irish.
I mean, I don't think Stripe would exist without them. To be honest with you, like Ireland's like poster boy for technological achievements.
I mean, Cantor is not Irish. That was very good.
And doing the math on that, so they have 12,500 employees. That means that 3% of their employees died in one day. That's wild. No, more. 5%.
Yeah, 5%. But who knows how many employees they had before?
You know what I just thought about? I can't wait till the woke community goes after kosher salt. Even though it's not kosher, it's just named kosher salt. I wonder how they're gonna change the name of that one.
Coarse salt.
Have you ever read the story of Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky, and like the New York City kosher chicken market?
Yep.
There's an HBO show called Boardwalk Empire back in the day, and they were like tertiary characters on the show. And all I kept thinking after like reading about them, there's so many books about these two dudes. They should have TV series dedicated towards the relationship between Lucky Luciano and Meyer Lansky. And Arnold Rothstein as well.
They do. It's called Boardwalk Empire.
Arnold Rothstein put
As
them
you just
together.
said it.
Actually, now that I think about it, Arnold Rothstein has played a tertiary character in so many, like the White House. You remember the shoeless Joe Jackson when the Chicago White Sox rigged the World Series and everything like that? He was a tertiary character in that as well. He had like it's. Jeff, you're like in financial services, kind of, right?
Yes.
What's your strategy now?
Charge my clients money and make them money.
Well, no, I mean for like the next 4 years, like personal, like.
And charge them 4 years of fees and make them money.
Do you think home equity loans will go down to below 6% or below in the next few years?
Depends how they cut rates. Home equity loans are almost always tied to the prime rate, so or the line, one of the two. So it's more or less a direct relationship.
It's 9% right now. If he can get it down to 6, I will. It's a notorious Trump hate. That's the weird thing. A lot of New Yorkers, prior to Trump ever getting into office, when Rafi says people have short memories. Like the middle class and below in New York City hated Trump a long time ago, and it's funny to now see some of these people who like grew up in families who hated Trump because he owned the West Side Yards in New York City, and if he had developed it, it's now the Hudson Yards, but which is valued at about $120 billion. That could have been all Trump's. He used to own all of it, and he refused to negotiate it. He wanted to make a Hollywood East and call it TV Land, and he blocked the New York Jets and the New York Giants, which everyone who's a football fan in New York hated Trump because the Buffalo Bills are always like, we're technically the only New York team. We're 2 teams play New Jersey. And we're like, that doesn't matter, but like secretly we fucking hate that. And they could have been playing in Manhattan. Yeah, it's kind of wild to say. Like I don't get over grudges. I'm still mad at them about that. That's my biggest beef to pick with Donald Trump.
I mean, home equity loans are mid-7s for decent credit.
I was looking at 9. Penis.
No, I mean, these aren't even like super credit.
Anyone else hungry?
I used to hate, so no.
Oh, dude, I'm hungry.
to shop around. You might be able to get a cheaper loan.
Yeah, I was looking in the middle of the summer. It was in the nines. I went to like 6 different banks, and it's
No, well, that makes sense. We've had at least 2 interest rate cuts. So
7 isn't actually bad. Like if it could get down to 5, I'd be so happy. I just don't understand why real property, especially when you're taking out such a small percentage of that. I got dropped a mortgage-free house in my lap this summer, and it's probably valued somewhere like on the most conservative range, probably like 700, and then like the most optimistic range, maybe like 850. And I was just trying to get a $200,000 line of credit against it, and they were like 9%. I just don't it's real property. It can be sold.
As you just spoke to my bank today, I got the mortgage for my parents. They gave me a 2-year fixed at 4.43%.
That's fucking awesome.
Not really when I was sitting at 1.86%.
Who sits at 1.86?
That's what we had here in Canada.
well, okay. So this is why, because in Canada, the most you're ever going to get is like a 5 to 7 year. Like their mortgage products are horseshit.
Correct. 5 to 7. You could go even for a 10-year, but 10 years would be really high because they don't know what's a 10 years. So they give like a stupid amount, so like people usually won't choose.
So here we got down to like 3, or maybe 2.75 even on a 30-year. 30 year. So him being a 175 on a 5-year, who cares? That's not that.
Not me. Okay. 5 years, shit.
5 years ain't nothing.
What's your motorization periods usually you guys have in the U.S.? What's the longest term you can get?
30.
30. So I think they're trying. So we had 30. They changed it to 25, and I think now they're trying to bring back 30 for first-time buyers.
I mean, they'd have to. But, I mean, income compared to family home prices is kind of gotten lopsided in the last 25 years.
It's not yawning.
What would be a typical interest, like just out of curiosity, like what's the longest right now in Canada you can get? If not first time home buyer, like not the program.
What do you mean? How many years?
Yeah.
Well, the mortgage itself is like a 30-year mortgage, but then every 5 years, as Jeff said, you have to re-sign. They make you re-sign on a different rate, so you can go either variable or fixed.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, that's ridiculous. You only get 5 to 7 years on a fixed rate mortgage.
You can go 2 years. Right now, I got offered 2 years, for example. A 2 year is giving me better than 5 years. So a 5 year is like 5 something percent, so like 5.2, and a 2 year fixed, they're giving me at 4.43, but I'm gonna have to re-sign again and see what happens in the next 2 years. Either it's gonna go up or down.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Alright,
And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's
Canada
bad.
sucks.
It doesn't really suck.
I mean, it doesn't suck that much because those interest rates.
It does suck that much, because not only that, but then how much they tax your income rate, and then on top of that, so I have a friend right now who needs a mammogram in Canada. Okay, she needs it because they found a lump. You know, she has to wait almost 6 months before she can have her mammogram.
That's insane.
Because of the medical system in Canada. No, Canada fucking sucks. I stand by.
You guys free health.
I concur with Bliss. Canada sucks.
No, but you guys only free healthcare, right?
We have free healthcare in the United States. It's for people who are under the poverty line or people who are super old. And actually it works just fine. And we also have fixed income plans and with our healthcare. So listen, if you can't afford healthcare in America, it's free. And if you can, you pay up the ass. The middle class is who carries the backs of America. The middle class carries America on its back.
Yeah, my ER bill is $4,500.
Obviously, I have no deductible, like my
I have insurance. Yeah. $10,500 is my deductible.
So I pay $7,000 a month for my healthcare insurance, and I have no deductibles. I don't pay out of pocket. Ambulance rides are near free, but I pay for it.
Pay for what?
You said you pay $7,000 a month?
No, not 7,000 a month.
Is that for your whole family?
My whole entire family, yes.
For $7,000 a month,
Costs you
my
$7,000 a
personal
month.
taxi.
It costs you $7,000 a month. That's got to be like the highest level of.
It's the highest level you can get. It's the most you can pay for.
For me, it would be $800 or more a month to get a good health plan, where I would have $30 doctor's visits.
I have no copay.
Oh, that's I mean, if you have that money, spend it for sure.
Give me that help, baby.
I'm lucky to be like a dual citizen, so my logic has always been the one thing. Again, I'm not saying like cannabis is great or anything, but I've witnessed the socialist netting healthcare system of Europe, and I would say if you are poor or you are middle class, England and Ireland's healthcare system is more optimal for you. However, I will acknowledge that all the wealthy people in those countries, if they ever have serious problems, they come over to America for like the highest.
No, they also pay for private. They have an option for private.
Well, they have the option for private, but at the end of the day, America is attracting the best and brightest stock. Like it is.
Not for long.
At the end of the day, their system isn't so different than our system. The only difference is the government actually operates the entire medical structure for the poor and middle class.
I think it's over.
Oh, sorry, I just noticed he's in the audience and said he wanted to be brought up. And also, I wanted to ask Bliss, where does she live? Because that number is shocking.
I live in Lake Denver.
Yeah, I pay like, I think $650, just for myself though.
That's got to be on the high end too.
I think that if I didn't have like a child who needed like special medical care, it would be, so like if you were if there was other exceptions that were not needed, it would be a lot less. So it's probably about 3,000 more because of other doctors' needs and appointments and things that we have to.
But even 4,000 is like how many people are it doesn't
5.
cover? Yeah, that's still.
Oh, no, that's to make more sense then.
Yeah, there's 5 people, and somebody with special medical needs.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say, oh my God.
No, for me, if I went through my work, my healthcare would just be paid for my work, and it would be like, it'd be less than, it would be covered. I wouldn't pay.
So you want to say, Bliss, you pay $84,000 a year just on medical insurance?
I think a little less than that.
That's still pretty wild. That's even $75K. That's pretty fucking wild.
Welcome to the United States of America, sir.
No, I agree with you, but that's wild.
And I think there's been months where it's a lot cheaper. It just depends on what's going on. Like I think on average, according to my husband, who won't shut up in the background, it's more like 2,500 on average. But there's moments when it's higher. So.
When you start using the services, it becomes higher.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, we thought about just not paying for insurance at all. And then just like paying completely out of pocket. Well, because
that's one strategy.
No, because then if you pay out of pocket, I think in the end of the year, it might be a lot.
Did you ever accumulate what you guys used the services for the whole year and like did the math? Tallied it up? Does it come out less?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not looking at it right now.
You're better than me.
That's what my dad did, but he had the benefit of having like I remember when I was 7 years old, we went over for a vacation and I had to have surgery in Ireland. And like looking back, I asked my parents when I was older, I was like, looking back on it, it seems like you knew I had a hernia. And you brought me to Ireland because their surgery was like $800 as opposed to like 8,000 in America. So like that vacation was on, like I paid for that vacation kind of. And Yeah, my dad was like, yeah, that's what I did too. I remember my dad broke his knee and he went for orthopedic surgery in Ireland because it was $1,200 out of pocket. My goddaughter in Ireland had a brain tumor. She, 5-year-old girl, brain tumor, a little bit bigger than a golf ball, a little bit smaller than a baseball, like somewhere in between that. And she had 3 different brain surgeries and she was in the hospital for like 35 days. My cousin is a teacher. He's a 1-income household. Makes 55,000 euros a year, and that's enough to support a family of 4 in a nice area, Dublin, and everything like that. And I was just shocked at I was like, just out of curiosity, like, how much is that? Like, how much were those medical bills? 2,400 euros he had to pay for 3 brain surgeries and 34 days in the hospital. And in America, that would have bankrupted them.
Yeah, that basically
So
is the problem. Is like even with really good insurance, when you have somebody who's going to the hospital or needs a lot of high level treatments because of things like that, then you end up in spaces like mine. But I will tell you that if I didn't have if I had worse insurance or higher deductibles, like it would be way more than.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I know for a fact people go to like Mexico from Canada, and I'm pretty sure from the US, like to go get their dental
Yeah.
done and
Be
stuff like
careful
that.
about it.
I know a few people that went there that got their teeth fixed. Because it's about like literally half the price.
I really would not advise that. Like, please look at dental schools and look into like free services through that instead, because like the head, like the person who's in charge of the program, they'll be there. Well, not the program, but the class, they'll be there and supervise throughout the entire process.
They put in porcelains, Christy. It was for porcelains. Like
Yeah, well, I don't know, but I'm just saying, just be careful.
It's like non-risky things. Yeah, I get the logic behind that. But like anything, first off, like if I'm going under, I'm not going to. If I'm getting anesthesia, I'm going to a regulated country.
No, this wasn't
Yeah, exactly. Like I understand why they went.
So he had it for this kid plays like I know one that just recently got it done. He was playing hockey, so he had like I think 1 or 2 of his front teeth knocked out. So he had like those like implants or whatever they put in there, but like they were shit. So he went to Mexico, like they did his implants properly, and like they did porcelain for him for the front. So he has like a straight smile, and like he got a vacation out of it. Plus he got his teeth done, and it cost him a fraction of the price. It still came out I think less than half price of what was offered here in Canada.
Besides, teeth aren't real important to Russians. All the vodka, they end up falling out anyway.
It strengthens. It's calcium in there. Don't forget, Joe.
I know a lot of people have gone to Turkey for hair implants.
Turkey for hair, correct.
You know what actually Turkey is known for? Forget about hair. Turkey is actually known for implants, for teeth implants.
That too, yeah.
They actually do it properly compared to like in North America, everybody looks like a fucking rabbit. Their teeth stick out after those implants. I don't know why. They look crooked. Turkey actually shaves off your teeth and does them properly. Actually, Turkey's very good at that. The teeth.
The one thing I've noticed is like in America, which you don't see in Europe as much, if you go into like a club where there's like black lights, you can tell who has fake teeth or not. Whereas in Europe, it's not as obvious.
I'm dying.
Yeah, I broke up with a girl because of that once.
That's a wild
Because her teeth are fake and they glue in the black light?
I was a freshman in college. I had a black white light in my dorm, and her 2 front teeth just.
Oh, if they
glowed, okay. And it just freaked me out and whatever. I was dumb and young and.
No, I completely understand now. Like if they don't all match, like if they were all the same color, like in the brightness of the okay.
Doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter.
No, but Jeff was saying like just two teeth specifically were glowing, like out of the rest, and like that would be weird.
Like, I don't know. I feel better that she had the majority of her teeth, and maybe she got them like knocked out, like. You know, she like hit the curb or like something stupid.
People have lost front teeth in crazy ways.
I
had a friend with
match them though. Then like
I had a friend with
fluoride or something to put on your teeth and
maybe she didn't know.
I also don't think Megan Fox was attractive because of her toe thumbs. Like it would be freaking me out if like Megan Fox was front of me. Like everyone is weird.
My mistake and my loss. Although I think I was really looking for an excuse with her. I wasn't so into her.
What are some other weird icks that you've had before?
That caused me to break up with someone?
Yeah, something where you're like, I can't get over this.
Does it have to be weird?
Like a small imperfection or something, like not weird necessarily, but
I don't think I have another like example where I ended something for something that really doesn't matter. Well, I didn't even start something for something that, well, it does matter, but again, kind of freaked me out. I was talking to a deaf mute and absolutely stunning, and I decided she must be a scam. But years later now, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, there's no scam. Like, how does that make her an advantage? But anyways, who the hell wants to date a deaf mute anyway? Yeah, I don't think I have another, like, I ended it with someone because they had a pimple on their back. I don't have another one, like, something like that.
plus, if you ask like 90% of married men who've been married for 20 plus years, the idea of having a deaf mute like you could like just.
Wow, Pat. Wow.
Let's assume he was just going for comedy on that one. If Raffy said it, he would have meant it.
And I think that like men only want women to be quiet out of convenience in moments when they don't want to take accountability.
No, just generally, quiet is better.
To be fair, like I like quiet too.
Yeah, that's true. Like if you asked
Yeah, until you want somebody to talk to.
90%
Then what's
of
gonna
married
happen?
women, 90% of married women who've been married 20 years would love a deaf mute husband, like as well. Like it's just people who've been married for like 20 plus years.
I don't agree.
They probably just want some peace and quiet.
Now I wouldn't want someone deaf mute.
I don't either.
I just like, yeah, I just want my own little space of quiet.
Deaf mute girlfriends are the best.
Okay, let's qualify. First off, like definitely deaf would be better. Like they can still talk to you and like you could learn sign language, but you definitely hear them coming around the corner.
Do you know how
So, like,
dangerous arguing and driving would be, especially if she's driving? I'm just putting up.
Yeah, and I'm going to push back, even as a chauvinist. You're better off with a mute girl who can hear.
Oh, that's actually.
You tell her what you think. She can't respond.
She can use sign language. Again, we're back in the situation of driving.
I don't know.
Plus, you still have to hear fucking horrible stories.
Yeah, you guys are like one step away looking for somebody with an extreme TBI.
What's a TBI?
Traumatic brain injury.
Hey, I'm at least saying I regret not meeting the woman.
Matt's over here talking about how she shouldn't even be able to form a thought.
Wait, deaf mute people can form thoughts, they just can't relay them.
This is such a mess.
Hey, Pat, if women with trisomy disorders were hot, you'd be going after that. You'd be heading down to the special adult care community, picking up women.
Wait, what? Oh, I mean,
I hear Billy likes them better when they have no teeth.
No, he likes them with teeth.
Yeah, but question, in all seriousness, a deaf person can't drive.
Yes, they can. What are you talking
Yeah, they can.
about?
I'm
Like,
pretty
they
sure
totally
they can.
drive.
Because, and I'll tell you why they can't. Because you're supposed to hear somebody.
What are you saying?
Hold on. I know you can't ride a bike in New York if you have headphones in your ears because you need to hear other people. Same thing as driving. You need to hear people are honking or something. There's an emergency vehicle coming, let's say, from an intersection. You're not
That's
going
why
to
they
even hear.
have lights.
No, but you're still supposed to hear during the day. It's kind of hard to see.
I don't know. I don't know. You tell that to the deaf community.
I'm pretty sure that community shouldn't be driving. Like again,
if Raffy's pretty sure, then what do we know?
I mean, Rafi, you forget that like America is the Wild West in some point. We let blind people.
We let them get licenses, by the way. We don't have standards in the United States in most states that you can't. So my very close friend, her mom is deaf and she drives all the time. She has a driver's license. I don't know.
Do you get a handicap pass with it?
They don't even do a hearing test.
Of course, Rafi. It's America.
Why does a deaf person need a handicap pass? And they can still walk from the.
I don't know. I think she actually might have a bum knee. I don't know. I never asked.
Yeah. You're not going to get a handicap pass for being deaf.
Let me see if I understand what's going on. Raffy's looking for a girl who's deaf and toothless?
That's my dream. Do you know,
we were debating what would be better.
It's going to be called silent blowjobs. Those are deadly.
Deaf or mute? Would you rather a deaf wife or a mute wife? Or would you rather a deaf husband or a mute husband?
They want me speaking fast, trust me. They don't want me deaf for not being able to talk to them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the biggest problem is like stories that go nowhere about like friends and everything like that, and you just have to sit there and listen to that. So like, I actually almost think I think what Jeff said was smarter.
But in safety purposes, for safety reasons, they shouldn't be able to drive.
Rafi, those are myths. And it's very biased of you to. I understand that there's maybe a lack of understanding, but it's also pretty biased to think that just because they can't hear, they're not blind, okay? And so that is a common argument that they won't hear honking horns or other things like that, like a siren. But most of the time, like 99.9%, they have flashing lights. So it's not just a siren. And typically, if you're not distracted driving, there's many times where you won't hear the siren anyway, and you'll see it. Like, they can see red lights. Even trains have things that come down that stops you from going into the train. You know that, right? There's like signs everywhere, flashing lights, and these big stripy things that come down and say, hey, we're having a train come through here. That they can see.
See, like just going back to like the deaf versus blind. Like, my logic was a guy married 20 years, like, who probably isn't getting laid anymore. He's probably like built his schedule around.
Come up with this stuff?
Hold on 1 second. I'm just saying, like, I think he built his schedule around like, when can I fit in a spank session? And under those specific set of circumstances, a deaf wife would be better, because a deaf wife, she's making racket coming up the stairs. I gotta like tuck it away and everything like that. As opposed to, like, I would say a mute wife has super hearing.
Right, Pat. I think one thing we've established is you should not marry a woman who's a ninja.
I was about to say,
and I'm saying a mute person
exactly what's in my head.
Like a deaf person cannot be a ninja. That I can agree with. I think a deaf person can get a driver's license, but not be a ninja.
Pat, you're thinking about this all wrong. If your wife walks in, get off, then she gets to help you finish the job. Come on.
I mean, yeah, but not all of us have great wives. And everything like that.
Billy, that's if she is blind, she can help you finish off the job. You just tell her.
First off, I've been caught by significant others jerking off 3 times, and none of the reaction was like, "Oh my god, amazing! Like, let's go for it." They'd be like, "Why did you just ask me? Like, why did you just start to like it's like it's never been a good reaction."
I'm just wondering, is it like when you get caught by your significant other?
Welcome to my world.
You can get away with a lot. I mean, if they're deaf or blind, I guess. Like,
No.
First off, I'm saying the common experience. Every single man in here has been caught by a significant other.
I've never been caught.
What? I've never caught anyone. Thank God.
I mean, you could have a whole nother woman and they wouldn't even know, you know?
Hold on. This is a very interesting one.
At least now you know how you're supposed to react.
When you jerk off and you get caught by your significant other, is it like the same feeling? You have the shame, like getting caught by your parents jerking off, kind of?
It's not as bad.
Put your head down.
How many times did you get caught by your parents, Raph?
I didn't get caught once. But like I can imagine, like I don't know how you would be able to look in your mother's eyes.
All
and
adults
think,
understand masturbation.
See, I never got caught by my parents because like I was the logical. A lot of my friends who have gotten caught, like this is a conversation I've had before actually. My friends who have gotten caught, they were like closing their door, but like you don't have locks on your doors when you're a kid. I was always smart enough. I was also an only child, so like if there was only 3 people in the house, I would keep my door open when I jerked off because then I could hear them coming up the stairs easier or something like that. Like it was strategy. However, you get a little bit more comfortable when you're in a relationship, like living with I lived with someone for I remember she was a wedding planner, so like most Saturdays we had weddings.
You overthink everything. Oh my God.
I'm just saying, like you're more comfortable, like in my so it's not. I would 110%. I'm glad that the 3 times I've been caught masturbating has been by a significant other and not my parents, because that would have been like 5,000 times more awkward. Like not even a doubt. But like I'm just saying, Billy had a fucking winner. If you were caught masturbating and then your significant other came in and was like, all right, let's do this. Like that's a level of enthusiasm I never experienced for the 3 times I got caught.
Well, I mean, Pat, maybe you needed to get caught more often, and they would have gotten with the program. Like, you have no idea how many thousands of times Billy got caught.
That's a good point. I should have just been standing spanking it every single night they came in through the door.
Exactly.
I have a picture of JFK masticating right here.
He is masticating.
You guys are fucking wild.
Yeah.
I mean, how wild?
This is fucking wild.
How are they wild?
I'm sorry to say.
It's gonna be hard for them to masticate.
Hey, Rafi, what's your philosophy on your partner masturbating?
On my partner masturbating?
Sure.
You do. Bother me.
You're in the Matrix.
She can do herself as long as she doesn't.
Well, at least he's consistent. He doesn't eat pussy and he's not offended when she masturbates.
Hey, Beth, welcome to the room. Have you ever caught your husband or any of your boyfriends masturbating?
No. I'm going to get Gatorade for my son.
What about the son or the daughter?
No. Never. But I make them put their own clothes into the washing machine before I wash them.
Do your son's socks stand up on their own?
Have you seen Grandma's Boy?
Will the socks stand up on their own?
Yeah.
Grandma's got a good boy.
That was a great movie.
No one can see me.
I need yellow and orange Gatorade. That's what I'm looking.
Well, we can't give you Gatorade, Beth.
You're basically using us like you should be using like your internal mind.
She
not familiar for you, but we came from a different dimension. So different dimension, still this, took me years to understand what it means, different dimension. But this is what they explained to me. And it seems that the other dimension, it's not a different place. It's not a physical different place. It's like a spiritual different place. Spiritual is the only word that I can find to something that is existing, but you don't see physically. But it was like a different dimension is not a different place. It's here, but we are not aware of it. And they can move from that other dimension and come to our physical.
Old men that have nothing to lose.
Yeah. Well, I say everything is changing very quickly. It's going to be Really interesting. Next couple of years, I think within 2 years.
This guy hates Trump, I forgot.
A lot
This
of
is Aaron
stuff is gonna
Stone.
change in the next 2 years. And I don't know how it's gonna be, we'll see. But I think there's big change coming. Yeah.
You know, but sometimes I go to counterparts, like there is this professor that I follow on Twitter. I used to be interested in her when I used to study cognitive science, and she's artificial intelligence, cognitive scientist, so she uses artificial intelligence stuff, and she always talk bad about the hype that is going on, and she says that this is merely hype, and she said neural networks have diminishing returns, and I know it, I can prove it. Like this is only waste of money and time and so on. And there is a group that who comes and they say, oh, it's marketing. These people, they want VC money. That's why they're hyping their technology, but there is nothing coming. And it's
have you been using ChatGPT 4.0?
Yes, and it's very useful and very strong.
Very interesting, yes.
Yeah. Actually, yesterday I was biting a curtain for my room, and I just didn't know which curtain will fit my room because I don't know how to describe it in English. Some kind of tube where you put the curtain in. It have different, one with hook and other with, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
No.
Do you get more starving when it gets like colder and darker earlier?
I just like hearty foods, like when it gets darker and colder, like earlier.
Yeah, and hibernation.
And vodka, right? And vodka?
Vodka. I'm not a big fan of vodka. Vodka makes the problem is with vodka, it makes me very aggressive lately.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've noticed vodka makes me aggressive.
Actually, same. I wonder if it's a batch. Something in it.
White vodka.
It's called alcohol, stupid.
No, so whiskey puts me to sleep for some reason.
Yes. Yes. How about tequila?
Tequila, like, it feels like I kind of did. There's like a little cocaine in there. Like I get
it's a
I don't know what.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yes, it's weird. Yeah.
I either
supposed to
crash
be
on
cleaner.
tequila, or like I either like crash on tequila, or like I black out and it's just like you're scared. Yeah.
Like a wild night. Every time I drink tequila, it's always a wild night.
Same, but I'm trying to switch. So I always was a vodka girl, but you know my body's just not tolerating. Maybe because I go so long without drinking, I drink like once a month. But still, the vodka, I just get a headache the next day. It's no good.
What
vodka do you drink?
Yeah, do not drink Grey Goose. There's glycerin. Make sure vodka has less glycerin in it, because when they add glycerin into vodka, food in it, but it's actually sugar. It's like drinking vodka with Red Bull. And if you drink vodka and Red Bull,
what vodka do you drink?
Grey Goose.
Grey Goose.
Yeah, that has a
Yeah, but don't drink any Grey Goose.
Yes, just like
No more Grey Goose, everybody. It's glycerin. There's a lot of glycerin in that Grey Goose now.
So the good vodkas, actually, Kettle One is okay. I actually drink Kettle One.
I like Kettle One.
And I started to recently enjoy Tito's a bit.
I really like Tito's too. Tito's is great.
Tito's is better than Kettle One.
Kettle
One's kind of nasty.
The price point. 100% Tito's is like
But Kettle One's kind of like a roast.
Tito's is the best vodka for sure for
price
point, and like for hangovers, it is the best vodka.
Also,
their process doesn't allow, I forget what they're called, some sort of chemical component. Their process doesn't create that.
So, Jeff.
Really?
I know this very well, and the technician who does our thing, he says the more glycerin you will be putting into a vodka to smoothen it, the more of a hangover you're going to get. So,
well, it's not just glycerin, though, because a lot of vodkas don't have glycerin.
Are you guys drinking vodka for hangovers?
No.
No, he's saying what's the least? The one that causes the least.
Well, to cure a hangover.
Ralphie was saying that like he has the opposite reaction in terms of like a vodka makes him aggressive, whiskey makes him go to sleep. and that's probably his Russian roots. Like, I'm the exact opposite. Like, whiskey can make me aggressive, and vodka makes me go to sleep. But gin has always been the,
I like
if
gin.
you're gonna, like, you want to get fucked up, but you don't want to have a wild night that gets out of control and everything like that, gin is, like, has
Gin
always
and
been that
tonic.
liquor that's, like, because tequila is too much of a wild card. Like, at least with vodka and whiskey, I know what the effects are gonna be. With tequila, it's like, it's a kind of a toss-up, but it's definitely gonna be a wild night. Gin is like the more like I don't know, like which I hate because like British people like, but gin is like the classiest of all the liquors in terms of you know what, like it's not gonna be.
So tequila, I'm very consistent. So I know which tequila, how it reacts with besides
Just fucking stop, Zach. Just fucking fuck off.
I drink Casamigos. I'm a big fan of Casamigos. And I know every time I drink it, I know what I'm expecting. So when I drink other tequilas, it might play a different role in it, but I stick to one type.
Billy, tequila makes my clothes fall off, just so you know. Oh, wow, okay, Beth.
When I meet you,
I'm making rum drinks. I'm making rum drinks. Bliss, I took care of that for you.
What?
Was that for me, Beth?
Yeah, I was telling you, tequila
Oh, thank
makes
you.
my clothes fall off. It sure does.
Well, keep them in the house.
mean, I do own a franchise of a margarita company, but it does make my clothes fall off.
By the way, Rafi, Casamigos is not very good tequila.
I know you were telling me that multiple times, but like this is the best I'm fighting here so far in Toronto.
Wait, you said you were making a rum drink, Chef? Have you ever had a bushwhacker? It's like
I was making a joke that I wasn't going to make a vodka drink since it makes Beth's clothes fall off.
Oh, gotcha.
And no, I don't do a lot of mixed drinks, well, really at all, because I like drinking alcohol straight.
It's a phenomenon in South Florida. That's the only reason I asked. That the bushwhacker, I haven't had a good one outside of like coastal Florida, and they usually serve it at like sailing clubs or like boat clubbing things. It's
Never heard of it. What's in it? Oh, that looks nasty.
It's almost like a milkshake. So it's a creamier version of a mudslide. Like in terms of they use milk and like 4 different types of liqueurs, and then they put rum and a 151 floater on it. So actually, it's like a milkshake that gets you fucked up, but it's delicious. And it's crazy.